Well, now then, what about our special guest today? I say, it's Erasure's Andy Bowles. So you obviously like caviar. I stood staring at an almost empty bowl.
I love the salmon's eggs as well.
So do I, which isn't true caviar.
OK.
Now, I think everybody worked out which is the most expensive, but actually, is the most expensive the one you prefer?
I think I might have preferred the one on the right-hand side, which was
because slightly. Well, I thought I liked the middle one because I thought it was slightly saltier.
Right.
Slightly saltier. Just to fill you in, then it was the posh stuff. Ossetra, £90 a gram. It's £90 for a 30-gram pot. Bayari was in the middle, which is the middle kind of mix. To work on a supermarket meat counter before answering an ad to form the world's best synth duo with Vince Clarke. Now, since Erasure's debut in 1985, Andy and Vince have sold, you look good on it, have sold over 25 million albums, scored an incredible 17 top 10 singles thanks to irresistible tunes like Sometimes and everyone's favourite, A Little Respect. Do you ever miss the old days selling sausages, though?
Not really. I used to have to scrub down the meat racks, and so they had, like, all these bloody scabs on them and stuff, and I had to, like, rub them down, so...
Did you have any idea, when you were doing that, how life was going to unfold?
I kind of did.
Did you?
Yes, because I used to say to people, oh, I'm the Cinderella of the meat room, you see, and, like... Because I knew it was going to end up with a happy ending. I don't know why. Everywhere where I worked in a sandwich bar and worked in a bar, and I used to tell all the people, well, soon...
One day,
yeah. You know, so it's a bit big-headed, but...
No, it isn't, because I think it's incredibly honest, actually. Yeah. That's what you felt, that's what you felt. You felt special. Special. Now, we're going to talk about what's happening with Erasure in just a moment, but first, tell us why you're going up to Edinburgh for the festival.
There's a one-man show, and it's called Torsten the BB Saint. And it's a show about this guy who's he's polysexual. Semi-immortal. Well, he's into everything.
Oh, OK.
And nothing.
And nothing.
And
semi-immortal?
Yeah, so you don't know if he's alive, if he's dead.
OK, OK.
He could be a spirit. But I just feel like he's someone who's kind of looking down, and he's kind of like a saint of all the sinners or something. You know, he's like making sure everybody's OK and everyone's safe and everyone's fine, and, you know, so...
And it's a musical?
It's a musical. It's 22 songs, so it's lots of words, all in 1 hour.
God.
Yeah, and it was written by a guy called Barney Ashton and Christopher Frost.
Where did you meet Barney, then?
I met him at the Kerrang Awards, which is...
Whoa. Andy Bell, Erasure's Andy Bell at the Heavy Metal Awards.
I find that the kind of heavy rock people are more friendly than you know, the regular pop people. I don't know why.
That doesn't
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
You don't seem so convinced.
Well, actually, when I think about it, I suppose, you know, I'm good friends with Slash, and he's the most wonderful man. Yeah.
So this guy writes the musical. Wants you to front it all the way through? So written for you?
I met Barney like 5 years ago, and he said he had this idea for this character called Torsten, who's kind of half Norwegian, so I suppose because of being blonde and...
Right,
you know,
OK,
he said that he'd written it with me in mind, which, you know, lots of people say those things sometimes, so I thought, well, I'll see. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh, my goodness, this is amazing.
You can relate to it?
It's, like, really incredible, yeah, and some of the stuff that he's written about, like, seems like some of my ex-boyfriends and, you know, stuff that's not really happened to me, but I can really relate to it. It's kind of something like in your DNA or something. Do you know what I mean? That kind of resonates in the songs. So hopefully that'll...
And they're all original numbers. There's no original numbers or stuff like that.
Completely original. Yeah. I'm hoping no one's going to say, sing A Little Respect, you know, when we're doing that.
Because it wouldn't be very respectful, would it?
No.
David, something from you?
Well, I was going to ask, this is kind of a bit of a huge departure for you because you're used to playing enormous auditorium. Is this going to be strange for you, do you think?
Well, it's quite weird. I mean, I don't really like playing huge gigs anyway. I like kind of theatre-type venues, but like when you're playing somewhere like this, for instance, with like 50 people or 25 people, and when it's your friends there, it's much more nerve-wracking than than strangers.
And is this your first stage
they always
role?
do that.
It's not my first stage role. I did a play 20 years ago, which was called The Night We The Night We Buried Judy Garland, which is about the Stonewall
Sounds
riots.
incredibly... OK, I was gonna, that's a very Butch theme,
Yeah, and then I also played the part of Montresor in The Fall of the House of Usher, which was a musical written by Peter Hamill from Van der Graaf Generator.
Yeah.
So that was.
You move in with some peculiar circles, don't you? Really? Are you doing any warm-ups before it, or are you just going to open them with a bang?
We're doing. There's one Erasure show which is Carfest, which is a charity show I think it's in Reading on August 1st. Then it's Torsten, and then another charity show at the end of August. But then Erasure's going on tour in September.
OK, so it's still in business and will continue forever.
We open the shop whenever we feel like it. Yeah.
Something from you, Joe?
Yeah, I want to know where you got the name Erasure from.
We didn't find it from... We wrote a list, and because Vince was in Yazoo, which I was a huge fan of Yazoo, you know, we thought maybe we could call ourselves Yaz2, and we thought that was a bit terrible, so we just made a list. You know, we were going to be called Vince and Andy, but one of my favourite films was Eraserhead. The movie.
Oh, yes, yes.
We just took it
Super
from that.
weird.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with rubbers, then?
Well, it could be. It could
I
be
don't know, I just assumed. I mean, I
be.
don't know. Most people, when they hear the word eraser, they think of rubbers. They don't necessarily think of a weird cow's-headed type
I mean, when we
creature
first started,
moving in black and white.
I couldn't think of anything to wear, like, for tour, and we were going on tour literally the next day, so I was running around, like, Kensington Market, and I literally grabbed a rubber leotard from this market stall, and I wore that, and it was perfect, because, you know, you don't need to wash it, you can just roll it. It was perfect.
I love you. Yeah. Listen, we must get on. Actually, one last question. Is it true you've got pink hips? I thought she meant pink lips.
Yes, I have. Yeah, my surgeon, I had total hip replacements in 2005 because I said that I wore the old ones out because I can too much, and I'm not really a trained dancer.
Right.
And my surgeon was the Queen Mum's transsexual surgeon.
Right.
Who said that she was a beautiful lady, like, you know, and she said that she put pink cups on the top of my...
Oh, fabulous, darling.
On my hips, because she said that she thought that I'd really appreciate it. So I was like, thank you so much.
So it wasn't
Really
a spelling mistake. You have pink hips rather than pink lips, right?
Yeah.
True. There you go. There you go. That's a Trivial Pursuit question if ever I've heard one. Now, here's what you can expect from your last Wright-Stuff of the week. We're kicking off with that. The House of Lords today debating the right to die. I'd like to know what you make of Lord Falconer's bill. Now, despite the Daily Mail's outrage, favour of the bill?
I think I am in favour of the bill. I mean, it's so personal, this thing, you know. I mean, my ex-partner, he died 2 years ago, and he had, like, he was HIV, hepatitis C, so he tried all the interferon treatment for his liver, and it didn't work. And he had strokes, he had the lot, you know. And, but he was fighting and fighting and fighting right to the very end, and thought he was even going to beat the liver cancer, you know. And it was the most soul-destroying thing, watching this person that you love just fade, you know. And at the end, it was so fast. I remember going to the hospital, and they were saying, "Oh, it's not going to be long now," you know, because he was in the intensive care, and I wasn't really sure if he was aware or not, you know. But I feel like he would have wanted to have gone quicker, but I think you really, really have to love the person, you know.
I mean, one sense, we have a sort of similar thing, because my father died in a very... He didn't just fought it to the end. At no point wanted to die, even when he was, you know, doolally in hospital on the morphine, still fighting it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to die, but seeing him go through that made me pretty sure that should it happen to me, I most definitely would. So it's understandable that it's not a compulsion. It's not. They're not saying that everybody has to. They're just simply saying that if you were to choose this, you would be allowed.
There's also one other thing here, which is I just find it horrendous that people who make that decision currently have to travel to Switzerland. Yeah. They have to go to Dignitas, where they have to leave their family, their friends, their home, their environment. Yeah. That can't be right.
Well, to you, Andy, for the headlines, and I think we know where we're starting.
Well, in the papers today, I mean, if you thought it couldn't get any more horrible, there's this plane that's been shot down over Ukraine.
Well, we're still assuming it's been shot down, aren't we?
They're saying it's been shot down, yeah. But it just makes me kind of... I mean, you can't really... I mean, it's awful, I know it's really awful, but I just feel like if you pay too much attention to all these things,
You will be just pulled down.
it just really is so heavy. And to me, it feels like kind of the Third World War started probably about 15 years ago. And we don't really know anything about it. And this is all going on. There's all these things going on, all these deals going on everywhere that we know nothing about.
And whilst I follow your sentiments completely down the line, for the relatives of 298 people from around the world. I mean, there were a group, we believe, on this plane that were going to an HIV/AIDS conference in Australia, a large group of researchers taken out. We believe 9 Brits, I think, were on the flight. It's just... I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it sort of never rains, but it pours. You know, you've got Iraq, Gaza.
Yeah. I mean, it's really weird as well when you're flying around, like all over the world. You know, it's the difference between airports as well. Like the rules of what whether you take your computer out, if you take your shoes off, like. Do you know what I mean? But it's different wherever you go.
Because it doesn't make any difference at all if someone's using a surface-to-air missile.
You know.
Yeah, you're gone. That's the only good thing.
If that is the case.
The only saving thing about that is that it wouldn't have known anything.
No.
Yeah.
Let's leave that one there for now, because I know the other two have got different angles on it. And let's move on to your next story.
The second story was this one in the Sun newspaper, which said that 52% of crimes go unsolved, which I don't think it's really surprising that. Really, I mean...
Well, this is every now and again the police release their sort of their stats, or we get various stats on crimes solved and so on. And by and large, the trend is that Britain is getting a safer and safer place.
Right.
Sex crimes, rape has gone up significantly in the latest round. I think it's 27% up. Now that may be because of better reporting and so on of crimes. But by and large, crime is going down. I'm not sure, though, that's how it feels.
I mean, what's the definition of a solved crime? Is that like...
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. When you write out a caution for somebody, I think that's a crime solved.
And is there a breakdown here on what sort of crimes are unsolved? Is it, because I often wonder, though, the smaller misdemeanours that you report, like someone stole your phone, for example, you get... Nice little tight report, incident number, never ever hear anything else.
At least you report it. I'm not sure I'd even bother reporting it.
Only to get the insurance.
Yeah,
get
the insurance.
I don't have phone insurance because it's a rip-off.
Well, probably it. Well, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Then my phone went round the U-bend and I found out how much an iPhone actually costs to buy.
Yes, there are lots of them.
It worked out that I saved over the lifetime £3,200 by not having insurance.
That's because you don't change your phone very much.
I don't change my phone very much.
It says here that's out of 7.3 million crimes, so it's a lot of...
Yeah.
It's a lot of
crimes going unsolved. But then again, there are a lot of crimes where we're also cutting back the numbers of police officers. So you can't slash police forces and expect them to do better, really, can you?
No, and have to have their... what's their... statistics. They have to fill out their sheets and things, don't they? To like say, this.
Jessica Ennis has had a baby boy, I'm told. There we go. So congratulations to her. Happy news. A bit of happy news. What else? What's your next one then?
The next story was the one in the Independent about because of the heat wave now, and it's getting so hot, and the UK is not really used to having air conditioning and cooling everywhere, that people should be allowed to strip off.
Well, the unions are saying that we should have a strike rule, that eventually you have a lowest minimum temperature if you're outside. I think if you're a builder or in manual trades, it's about 13 degrees. Then when it's below 13 degrees, you can go, but there's no maximum temperature.
That's right, and that's why the underground can get so hot, because you cannot have it too cold. But otherwise, London.
They have a brilliant system in Dubai. They have a law there, 50 degrees centigrade, everybody can stop work. But that's by the government's official thermometer that never goes above 49.5.
But also, and also Britain is woefully unprepared. I mean, if we are really getting climate change, and if we're going to see this more and more, hotter and hotter summers, we're going to have to actually invest in some infrastructure like air conditioning.
Yeah. OK, well, let's see how long it lasts.
And the next story was in the Telegraph. Oh, sorry, I missed one out. Was the Times, which was about a new European ruling that said that obese people now should be treated as if they're disabled.
OK, because there was a case, wasn't there, of a childminder who felt he'd been discriminated against because of his weight, a Danish childminder. And,
because he was obese?
Yeah. He was unable to bend down to tie a child's shoelaces.
Should ban the processed foods.
And lost his job. And he said that was discrimination. Now, this isn't a binding ruling, but it's an opinion of a European court advisor. So.
How extremely useful.
Well, it's a step. It is. I mean, we had a very interesting debate about it. I mean, there's certain issues of disability where people are, you know, it's not their. Now there are going to be some obese people whose weight problem is not their fault,
but not that many.
But those people may still be discriminated against. They may lose their job through no fault of their own. Sorry, David.
Yeah. I mean, it's an EU thought. And, you know, I think we go down a very slippery slope if you then say, if you are obese for whatever reason, then you are disabled. And also, you know, there are huge impacts on that, on the health service. The fact we're now super strengthening ambulances, that we have got to get operating tables that are twice the size because no one can get on them.
Or the alternative is we do nothing. And then what do you do?
No, ban processed foods.
Well,
There you go.
Make fruit cheaper.
Yeah. Fruit and vegetables, change people's diet.
Food, make great food.
But there are still, we still agree though, David, there are some people out there who it is not their fault and they may be discriminated against.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. OK, good. Right, one last one from you.
The last story is Telegraph. Which one's that one?
Big one.
Is there this an emergency or a crime of passion?
Oh yeah, that was about two people. You know, they have those intercom, the speakers in the malls when you go shopping.
Yeah, and all the school guys with their walkie-talkies.
Yeah,
they got them around here.
They had apparently some couple that were heard making love in the over the loudspeaker system in loads and loads of shopping centres all over the country.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so I don't know where these people were or which mic they were on, or you know.
Or the walkie-talkie. So they were doing
somewhere.
Do you have the killer line that I read that that I think it's some security guard saying.
Whoever it is, you are either having a really good time or in serious distress.
Did they radio in? Over.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
somebody must have recognised.
Rogering and out. Yes.
It is quite embarrassing, though, isn't it? Hearing people like. It's like when you stay in a hotel and you can hear the people in the next room. It's like, really?
Yucky.
Like, oh, no.
Nicely done. Andy, what have you got for us then, please, Jack?
Well, on that plane crash, you know, there's always...
a route that we know worked before, that we're now saying, forget about education, forget about safe sex, pop a pill.
I think it's really tricky because people are kind of bombarded with sexual imagery the whole time on the internet, you know, and they have, like, easy access to like Grindr and these dating apps, so sex must be all over the place, you know. And I'm speaking as an HIV positive man, that you know, I think they need as much ammunition as possible, these young people, to you know, defend themselves against becoming infected, you know, and they're not going to listen to. I mean, we should educate young people. And there's loads of information in bars, and they have condoms and stuff for them. But young people aren't going to listen the whole time.
No, you know, and there's alcohol, they get drunk, they have sex.
So,
and, you know.
Do you think the notion that all sexually active gay men should start taking a drug that's yet to be...
Well, I didn't realise when I read about the figures that actually it can be used in a preventative way. Yes, that if you are taking the drug, you're less likely to become infected, but it's not like 100% effective.
Right.
You know, so it's not. So it's a bit like juggling, though, really, isn't it? I suppose.
Well, actually, what it does is it's another technique in your armoury. So you're saying yes, you must use condoms. Condoms break, people get drunk. You know, mistakes happen. So what they're saying is that if you take Truvada, which is this particular drug, then your risk, according to some studies, may drop by as much as 65 to 75%. And when certainly what Public Health England, who've endorsed this, are saying is actually this could be very, very important because we do need to reduce the number of people getting HIV.
Can I ask Joe, has anybody else put you on statins?
Oh, you know...
Nonsense, once and for all. Are you a high fiver, Andy?
Not at all.
No.
Everything always it seems so staged.
Yes,
now,
it's kind of conscious.
Yeah, you know, and it's all a photo opportunity, and nothing is natural.
No.
You know, and I was thinking...
But the handshake, I suppose, is contrived. It's just been around for a very long time.
Yeah. I just think, why can't you just be yourself?
So you're against high-fiving altogether, and if you're a politician, complete no.
I'd much rather a handshake than that.
Joe?
Yeah, I think he should... He looks a bit like he's trying to be so trendy.
Yes.
I don't know
I think you
about
actually
that.
managed to make Yunk and Cameron look cool, you two.